Hello, in this video I am going to be reading my favorite creepy passage from my book The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. Don't worry, young girl, you're safe. Just come a little further. But Liesel did not come. She looked to where the man was taking the accordion and followed him. With the red sky still showering its beautiful ash, she stopped the tall LSE worker and said, I will take that if you like. It's my papa's. Softly, she took it from the man's hand and began carrying it off. It was right about then that she saw the first body. The accordion case fell from her grip. The sound of an explosion. Frau Hotzapfel was scissored on the ground. The next dozen seconds of Liesel Memminger's life. She turns on her heels and looks as far as she can down this ruined canal that was once Himmel Street. She sees two men carrying a body and she follows them. When she saw the rest of them, Liesel coughed. She listened momentarily as a man told the others that they had found one of the bodies in pieces in one of the maple trees. There were shocked pajamas and torn faces. It was the boy's hair that she saw first. Rudy? She did more than her mouth with the word now. Rudy? He lay with yellow hair and closed eyes, and the book thief ran towards him and fell down. She dropped the black book. Rudy, she sobbed, wake up! She grabbed him by the shirt and gave him just the slightest disbelieving shake. Wake up, Rudy! And now, as the sky went on heating and showering ash, Liesel was holding Rudy Steiner's shirt by the front. Rudy, please! The tears grappled with her face. Rudy, please, wake up! God damn it, wake up! I love you! Come on, Rudy! Come on, Jesse Owens! Don't you know I love you? Wake up, wake up, wake up! But nothing cared. The rubble just climbed higher, concrete hills with caps of red. A beautiful, tear-stormed girl shaking the dead. Come on, Jesse Owens! But the boy did not wake. In disbelief, Liesel buried her hair into Rudy's chest. She held his limp body, trying to keep him from lolling back, until she needed to return him to the butchered ground. She did it gently. Slow, slow. God, Rudy! She leaned down and saw his lifeless face, and Liesel kissed her best friend Rudy Steiner soft and true on the lips. He tasted dusty and sweet. He tasted like regret in the shadows of the trees and the glow of the anarchist's suit collection. She kissed him long and soft, and when she pulled herself away, she touched his mouth with her fingers. Her hands were trembling, her lips were fleshy, and she leaned in once more, this time losing control and misjudging it. Their teeth collided on the demolished world of Himmel Street. She did not say goodbye. She was incapable, and after a few more minutes at his side, she was able to tear herself from the ground. It amazes me what humans can do, even when the streams are flowing down their faces and they stagger on, coughing and searching and finding. The next discovery. The bodies of Mama and Papa both lying tangled in the gravel bedsheet of Himmel Street. Liesel did not walk or run or move at all. Her eyes had scoured the humans and stopped hazily when she noticed the tall man and the short wardrobe woman. That's my mama, that's my papa. The words were stapled to her. They're not moving, she said quietly. They're not moving. Perhaps if she stood still long enough, it would be they who moved, but they remained motionless for as long as Liesel did. I realized at that moment she was not wearing any shoes. What a odd thing to notice right then. Perhaps I was trying to avoid her face, for the book thief was truly a irretrievable mess. She took a step and did not want to take any more, but she did. Slowly, Liesel walked to her mamma and papa and sat down between them. She held Mamma's hand and began speaking to her. Remember when I came here, Mamma? I clung to the gate and cried. Do you remember what you said to everyone on the street that day? Her voice wavered now. You said, what are you assholes looking at? She took Mamma's hand and touched her wrist. Mama, I know that I liked when you came to school and told me Max had woken up. Did you know I saw you with Papa's accordion? She tightened her grip on the hardening hand. I came and watched you and you are beautiful. Mama, you are so beautiful. Many moments of avoidance. Papa, she would not and she could not look at Papa. Not yet, not now. Papa was a man with silver eyes, not dead ones. Papa was an accordion, but his bellows were all empty. Nothing went in and nothing came out. She began to rock back and forth. A shrill, quiet, smearing note was caught somewhere in her mouth until she was finally able to turn to Papa. At that point, I couldn't help it. I walked around to see her better, and from the moment I witnessed her face again, I could tell that this was who she loved the most. Her expression stroked the man on the face. It followed one of the lines down his cheek. He had sat in the washroom with her and taught her how to roll a cigarette. He gave bread to a dead man on Munich Street and told the girl to keep reading in the bomb shelter. Perhaps if he didn't, she might have not ended up writing in the basement. Papa, the accordionist of Himmel Street. One could not exist without the other, because for Liesel both were home. Yes, that's what Hans Huberman was for Liesel Memminger. She turned around and spoke to the LSE. Please, she said, my papa's accordion. Could you get it for me? After a few minutes of confusion, a older member brought the Eaton case and Liesel opened it. She removed the injured instrument and laid it next to Papa's body. Here, Papa, and I can promise you something, because it was the thing that I saw many years later, a vision of the book thief herself, that as she knelt next to Hans Huberman, she watched him stand and play the accordion. She stood and strapped it on the Alps of broken houses and played the accordion with his kindness, silver eyes, and even a cigarette slouched on his lips. He even made a mistake and laughed in lovely hindsight. The bellows breathed, and the tall man played for Liesel Memminger one last time as the sky was slowly taken from the stove. Keep playing, Papa. Papa stopped. He dropped the accordion, and his silver eyes continued to rust. There was only a body now, on the ground, and Lisa lifted him up and hugged him. She wept over the shoulder of Hans Huberman. Goodbye, Papa. You saved me. You taught me to read. No one can play like you. I'll never drink champagne. No one can play like you. Her arms held him. She kissed his shoulder, and she could not bear to look at his face any more. And she slowly placed him down again. The book thief wept until she was gently taken away. So, in this scene, Himmel Street, where she lives, Liesel Memminger lives, has just been bombed, and all of her people that she knew, or her relatives and her friends, on that street, they're all dead, and she's looking at all of them, and she's feeling deep regret and remorse that they died.